nhớ trong cái trồng cái trà phong yên mong là nhớ thông là cũng như thế nào lúc nào giờ mà thi cổ pro lu bay thì dùng cho thiên nhận cổ pro nói mong được thương sai nào để cứ mua tròn lúc rồi Miami Florida cái trái mình cả giờ lúc San Francisco nó rồi nó có thơ đường thái sẽ là trong giờ ô hô lử là mình nói của tham công ty của Akashx lúc công ty này lúc công ty là ô la luôn chú chẳng xong rồi giờ rồi cha thuê cho Crystal cho nên là dầu nó lúc công ty tua họ nó mà giờ tua một mô cho ô lử từ lúc công ty kia họ tua một công ty tu rồi cho nên của nó ô hô lử cho họ lúc công ty Akashx rồi cũng mà đó tụ cho nên là tổng lúc hợp lý phải mua tiền đồ đồ ý trồng từ đó là o bê bỏ vào đó là cũng một sự hở đó tổng cái tổng chi tụ tổ thơ chư cái tụ lử thơ chư từ lúc hợp lý Akashx là cái gì cái tụ chi tụ doctor của China tụ nó giờ sang là giờ ít tụ doctor America cái tụ giờ người tụ founded từ lúc University de Rich University là cũng mà đó lần đầu cũng cho nhau rồi những cái chờ xử lý giờ Colombia và Europe là cũng có còn lúc mình đi à cho nên ít đồ họ luyện nhất họ nó hay gì đã phải lúc làm gì cũng một trăm phần trăm kia là nè mà cũng có sai gì là một cho lúc làm gì là một họ luyện cái gì nếu họ luyện cho lúc tết chờ nó cho chỗ tết chờ tức là trồng hoa lựu cho lúc này là cho nên là ít việc cũng cho coi thì cũng một trái hay gì lúc không bị Akashx nó nó ra chỉ cho nên một trái cho guest speaker cũng một thả cho cái là luôn thế rồi cho nên một trái thiên chí từ tổ thơ chư thì từ lựu thơ chư từ lúc của ta Akashx cái chế là mua thả ra chỉ để làm một trái, ít bây giờ là cũng cho cái một trái, cho nên đặc biệt thả ra làm nó là cái, đó là cái này.
I said, how we feeling today, Miami?
The Vice President local company
And I'm so
Akashx
absolutely grateful for each and every single one of you taking time out of your day, out of your lives to come here and spend time at the Go Diamond Summit. Can't hear me? No. All right, can you guys hear me now? Yeah! I tried to be fancy with this thing, but it's all good. I was just saying, I want to thank each and every single one of you for taking time out of your lives to come here and spend time with us at the Go Diamond Summit. Now, for a lot of you in this room, this is a hope and a dream. For some of you, this is something you've already achieved. Okay? And congratulations to every single person that's here today. So guys, give yourselves a huge round of applause. And today, guys, I'm not going to dive into my story at all. I really want to make this segment 110% about you. Because, when I came to this company, Akashx, there was a very specific reason for it. I looked at all the other companies in the industry. I interviewed many different founders, and I kept finding people who were not consistent and who were not competent. They were truly in this game for one thing, and that was for their own pockets. So I wanted to partner with a community that really wanted to give back to the people. And when I sat down and I spoke with Matthew Thayer and Josh Swagel, at that time, there was only about 1,060 active members in the company, doing about $160,000 a month in revenue. Fast forward, guys, we were able to take this thing to over 18,000 members, doing over $3 million a month in less than 8 months. And today we heard so many incredible skills from all of the speakers, all the keynotes, all the panelists, and I want to help you guys drive everything you learned today and make a decision to go from participant to professional. So if you are ready to go from participant to professional, let me hear you say yes. Yes. I can't hear you. Let me hear you say yes. Yes. Let's freaking go. So first and foremost, again, I'm Ali Saleh. You guys already know me. I'm here twice, I guess. All right, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the problem that people have in network marketing. And this is something that I think most people struggle with tremendously as you get started in this game. So most people will join a network marketing company with crazy excitement. By a show of hands, who joined your sponsor and you were super excited? I want to see, right? So most people, they join with excitement, but then they treat it like a hobby. We heard that all day today. If you treat this like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. If you treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. But the reality is professionals will get professional results. I say this time and time again. Amateurs will focus on mastery, perfecting every little skill, while actual professionals focus on outcomes, okay? So amateurs focus on mastery, okay, trying to thread the needle, understand everything, ask every single question there is under the book, confuse yourselves, while a pro actually focuses on outcomes. So the difference between a hobby mindset and a professional mindset is one. It's only one thing that differentiates someone who's here for a hobby and someone here who's here to be a professional. And that's massive obsession. Look, I look at everybody in this room and I've worked with all of you in some capacity, one way or another. Maybe we've had a Telegram chat, we've spoken on the phone, we've done a three-way call, you've been a guest on one of my Zooms. And I hate to say this, but I have to be honest with you. Most of you are lying to yourselves. Most of you are not obsessed with your business. What does obsession mean? Obsession means I eat, sleep, and breathe my business. Which means when I wake up in the morning, outside I think of my family and myself, I then immediately turn all my energy and effort into my business. And if you don't have that level of obsession, it will never come. Because you have to think about your business 24/7. I can give you all the skill training in the world, but if you don't have that obsession, if you don't have that transformational shift to take you to the next level, you're gonna 110% get left behind. So what professionals do differently? They commit long term. This is something we really have to talk about. A lot of people who come into this industry, they assume that they've made a decision to be here long term. I want to let you guys know that right now, there are people going to school to become a doctor. And I don't know if you guys know this, but undergrad is literally 4 years of your life. After you invest 4 years of your life into undergrad, then you have to go to med school, which is another 6 years. Then after you go to med school, you have to do what? Go for your residency or your fellowship. And after you do that, then what do you have to do? Then finally, after 12 to 15 years of your life, you become a doctor. And my cousin, who's a doctor, 2 years ago I was having a conversation with him. We were talking about how much money we each make. And he said, damn, I should have been doing what you're doing. And I agree with him. But the reality is, I respect doctors, lawyers, engineers, and all those people who do that because they have something that most people on this planet are missing. And that's commitment. You have to be able to commit to something and never give up, no matter what happens. So I need everybody in this room to say 10 years. 10 years. 10 years. 10 years. Committing to this business for the next 10 years, no matter what. The only way you don't win in this industry is if you quit. Case point blank, period. Every single leader you heard from today is living proof of that. They master the outcomes. What does that mean? That means if my outcome is volume, sales, more commissions for me, more commissions for my team, all I'm going to focus on is the income producing activities that are going to drive those outcomes. I'm not going to waste my time with things that aren't going to produce volume. What are things that are going to waste my time? Chatting shit, talking about people, talking about other companies, not locked in, looking left, right, center, having shiny object syndrome. We're not doing that if we're committed to this process. Professionals stay consistent. This is the biggest thing that people fail. They think that if you go on a run for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, that you've made it. You hit Sapphire, maybe you hit Ruby, and then all of a sudden your team falls apart and you're like, the system sucks. The trades don't work. Who's heard this as a leader? Raise your hand if you've heard your people come to you after they hit a rank and they come up with excuses, right? The reality is consistent people do not rely on excuses. They only rely on income-producing activities. And lastly, they build people. When was the last time you as a leader, if you're committed to becoming a 7-figure earner in this industry, when was the last time you actually called someone in your organization and you poured into them? When was the last time you actually understood their story? How can you lead someone to battle if you don't know what they've been through? If I don't know Maddie's story, if I don't know Garrett's story, if I don't know China's story, if I don't know, Skylar's story, how can I help them get to where they want to go? And I can't, because I have to understand them. Start building your people. See, professionals aren't the most talented people, they're the most consistent people. So, the power of decision. Every single person in this room, I want you to say decide. Decide. I want you to say decide. Decide. And the reason why we're saying decide is because you can't change your life overnight, but overnight you can make a decision to change your life. Yes or yes? Yes. Okay. So people who are indecisive, they're interested people. They try things out. They wait to see, like Garrett said, if they make some results before they tell other people. They will test. They'll see if it works. But people who are committed to the process will commit to learning. They don't commit to trying. They commit to adapting. They don't commit to testing. They commit to persistence. Because if you are persistent, you will get it. And if you are consistent, you will keep it. Make sense? Yes. Okay, perfect. So, the 4 habits of professionals. Now, I wanted to do a list of 10 things that everybody needs to do every single day in order for you to be wildly successful in this industry. Once you decide to become a professional, you have to stick to your guns. But what we're not going to do is overwhelm you. So I want to make this so simple. Who knows what KISS stands for? Keep it simple, stupid. Yes, that is correct. Keep it simple, stupid. So step 1, your daily activities. Conversations, follow-ups, and presentations. I was talking to a nice young gentleman outside, and he was asking me how he could build the business. And he had mentioned to his upline, oh, is there a PDF that I could download and share? And the reality is, if your people are asking you that question as a leader, you fail. You have to sit down with every single person in your team and show them to present. Because the team with the most presenters wins. There's no denying that. Follow-ups, presentations, and conversations. The second thing is personal development. Personal development has absolutely changed my life. The only reason why I'm standing here today is because I decided that I would find a tribe of mentors, virtually. I started spending hours of my time with Tim Ferriss, Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Earl Nightingale, and I started obsessing over the things that they were saying and the things that they learned and what they were teaching. And not only was I inspired, not only was I motivated, I was disciplined to take that next step. So without books and podcasts and going to events just like this, how can you break that barrier? How can you actually get to that next level and create the life that you desire? Who here in this room actually desires to live a 7-figure life? Guys, I'm not believing you. Who in this room actually wants to live a 7-figure life? That's what I'm talking about. So you cannot live a 7-figure life on a freaking 5-figure mindset. And the only way you're going to be able to break out of the shackles that you are in right now is by breaking the barrier. Each and every single one of us in this room, we have trauma. We've dealt with things with our family. We maybe grew up with financial problems. Maybe we don't have our parents. For those of us who are blessed to have our parents in our lives, we're blessed. But there are people who have crazy struggles. And all those things in the past shape you to who you are today. Personal development will change you as a person. 5 years of consistent work, and you will be able to see a whole new version of you. Skill building. You guys need to focus heavily on inviting, presenting, closing, and leadership. If you are not getting on calls with your team and role-playing how to close a prospect, giving each other objection busters, presenting the opportunity, you guys are going to fail miserably. My goal here today isn't to be nice to you. I'm actually not here to inspire you at all. I'm here to be your mirror and tell you, when you look in the mirror and you see yourself, that is a direct representation of what your mindset says about where you belong. That is a direct representation of the thoughts between your ears. So you need to break that by making sure that you're building the skills and duplicate. Help others succeed. Help others succeed. Who saw Garrett Roberts share his screen today? Who saw that duplication in his downline? Right? Took that organization to over 400,000 people. Do you think that happened all through him? No. Joey taught us about what? Taprooting. Joey taught us about what? Taprooting. Joey taught us about what? Taprooting. And what can taprooting do for your business? Duplicate. Say duplicate. Duplicate. So duplication is the one thing that's going to help you grow massively. The first team I ever built that was notable was a team of over 15,000 people. And I remember one day I looked at my back office and I saw that I had personally enrolled 17 people who went on and gave me a six-figure monthly income. That's right. And all I had to do was be available, help them, build bridges, lead. Okay? So consistency will beat motivation time and time again. I want you guys to understand that professionals rely on discipline and systems. So Josh Amundsen did an amazing presentation this morning that showed each and every single one of you how to create massive duplication in your teams. What a shame it would be for you to leave this event and not immediately get on the phone with your leaders, at least on a FaceTime, and say, hey, I learned something today that's going to take our team to the next level. What a shame it would be for you to not get an emergency Zoom meeting after you attended the Go Diamond Summit and tell your people what you learned today. What a shame it would be for you to not light that fire under your people. Because at the end of the day, guys, you can have the best product in the world or the worst product in the world. The culture that we're building and the community that we're creating is what's going to make us go to $1 billion. Who wants to be part of $1 billion company? Who wants to go to 1 billion? You can't have 1,000 diamonds, okay, without being at $1 billion. You don't have to be a mathematician to understand that. So the pathway to get there is very real and it's easy. But what most of you are not willing to do is sacrifice. See, I was talking to Landon and Maddie earlier today, and they were just telling me about some of the things that they go through in their lives to kind of get to where they are today in the industry and where they want to go. But the one thing I heard from them that I think a lot of people are missing out is that sacrifice. See, a lot of people pay a price to become who they are. Most of you in this room have not even understood the cost of admission. So how can you pay the price if you don't even know what it costs? You have to make sure you sacrifice. And I say this at almost every single event. Khabib Nurmagomedov is one of my favorite athletes in the world. And he talks about how in order anybody can win. He says, look, there's people who train 4 times a week, they train during camp, they win some. But to hold that belt and to become a champion, you have to be willing to sacrifice. Sacrifice is the single most important thing in this game. So what does sacrifice mean? It doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your firstborn child, right? There's not some deity out there or anything like that. What you have to do is you have to sacrifice the old you. You have to say, okay, today is the 14th of March. And from this day moving forward, the old me no longer exists. I'm going to bury the concept of who I once was and who I will never be again. And I'm going to create greatness out of what I have been given by God. Do you follow me? Yes or yes? Because this is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not here, like I said, to motivate you or inspire you. I'm here to speak to you as your mirror. You are not where you are because you haven't decided that you're ready to go where you need to be. So what I want to do right now, guys, is get the clicker to work. You're good. I think we gotta go back. Okay. Long-term vision. We kind of touched on this earlier, okay? Traditional careers take decades. This can change your life in just years. So the real winners will commit to a decade run in this industry, but all you need is 4 years. So a little story about me. I was introduced to network marketing back in 2013. I was only in for a couple of weeks.